Hey y'all, it's Melissa from The Little For That Kid. Welcome to my channel. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos, and most of what you find on my channel is homeschool content, although I throw some other mom life, allergy life stuff in there too as well. So if that's the kind of thing you like, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and stick around. Today I am doing a homeschool video with you, and I'm going to tell you how I plan my school year. So if you're interested in doing a little yearly planning with me, stick around. So for anyone who is new or perhaps haven't watched a video where it gives this information, I will tell you that I like to consider myself a year-round schooler, loosely year-round schooler. So what I mean by that is we have a specific start date for our school year that I choose every year, but we don't necessarily have a specific end date. And the reason is because I like to be flexible with our schedule and do what we need to do when we need to do it. That's the beauty of homeschool, right? You do what you need to do. So before I tell you how I plan my year, let me first throw this disclaimer out there. This is not the right way, because there is no right way to plan your year. So this is not the right way. This is my way. It works for us. And this is how I do it. This is by no means me telling you this is how you should be planning your school year. That is the lovely thing about homeschooling. We all do it in our own unique ways, with our own unique methods, and we're able to do that because we have the flexibility of homeschooling. Sorry, loud bird. That said, do keep in mind that depending on what state you live in, if you're new to homeschooling, you need to make sure you look into your state's laws and things, and make sure that whatever is required by your state, that you are making sure that you abide by those things. My state is a very, very lax state. There's very little that we're required to do, so that's not something that I really have to worry about at all. But that's my state. So make sure you check your state and make sure that you're following all the guidelines that you have to follow for whatever state you happen to live in. That's really important. So that said, the first thing I do when I'm planning my homeschool year is print out an entire year calendar starting in August. So I print from August through July, and I have the entire year, 12 months on my calendar from August to July. And the reason that I do that, sorry, my house is always loud, y'all. I have 3 kids, 2 birds, and a pig in my house. So the reason that I do that, like I said, is because we don't have a specific end date. Now, I taught in both public and private schools for 17 years before becoming a homeschool mom. And of course, prior to that, I went to school myself. I was a student. I did, K through 12th grade. I did 4 years of undergrad, and I did 2 years and got my master's degree. So I have sort of had that traditional school year ingrained in me for a very long time because of that. And I have this really weird anomaly of personality traits where I'm super OCD and scheduled, and like checklist, get everything done at the right time, at the right place, like very OCD, but I'm also very artistic. And so I also have that fly by the seat of my pants thing going on, and my artsy side as well, which I know doesn't make any sense. It's not normal, I think, to be both of those things, but I am. And so my yearly planning, I feel like, kind of reflects that, because there are some things about my yearly plan that are like super OCD and I'm super scheduled, and then there are some things that are not. And so that's how I do it. So let me explain. So So first of all, I do pick a first day of school every year. I make sure that I decide on a specific day where, okay, this is the day that is going to be our first day of school, and that's the day we're going to start all of our new grade levels, all of our new subjects, all of our new whatever that we're doing for the next school year. So for this year, I have chosen August 2nd, which may seem early to some of you guys, but we live in the deep South, and August is just miserably hot. And so, I mean, we have a pool, we have the beach, but it's almost even too hot for the beach and the pool. Really, it gets so hot. And so I find that in August, we're not spending a lot of time outside anyway. So we can go ahead and start school in August, and then in September, it's still hot. So we have plenty of time where we can take days and go to the pool or the beach in September. So I don't know, that may seem early to you guys, but it works for us in our hot climate. So I pick my first day of school. Then what I do is I go through and pick the holidays or the days that I know for sure that we're not going to have school. And to be honest with you, it's not a lot. And I'll tell you why in a minute. It goes back to that flexibility thing. So obviously we take the week off for Thanksgiving, and we take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's in December. And then we also take, this is probably going to be a weird one for a lot of y'all, but we live in the birthplace of Mardi Gras. And so in our city, during the week of Mardi Gras, if you're not familiar, Mardi Gras is a really long season. It's a season. It's not a day, although there is what is considered Mardi Gras Day or Fat Tuesday. That is Mardi Gras Day. It's the last day. It's the end, basically the end, essentially, of Mardi Gras season or carnival season, if that makes sense. And so, so that week, Fat Tuesday is always a Tuesday. That week, pretty much, this whole city shuts down. Shuts down. There are some things that are open, like gas stations and grocery stores and things, but schools around here, public and private, no school. Some schools are closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Mardi Gras week. Some schools are closed the whole week, Monday through Friday. And lots of businesses are shut down. The city just, for the most part, is shut down, at least on Mardi Gras Day, but sometimes the whole week. And like I said, most schools are closed the whole week. And so we generally do that as well. When my kids were in traditional school, before we started homeschooling, that was something they were accustomed to doing, is to taking Mardi Gras off. And so we have just continued that during our homeschool because that's what we do. So anyway, so you can see that that's only 3 weeks out of 12 months that we're taking off. So obviously we do not school every single one of those other days. We do take other breaks, but I don't schedule them per se. Now, if we have something that comes up, somebody's sick, we're just having a really bad day, whatever, we find out at the last minute out of town company is coming in. We find out at the last minute that, hey, we're gonna go on a vacation, in 2 months. Then I have the flexibility where I can schedule those days off wherever I want them or need them to be, and I don't have to worry that we're getting behind or that I'm gonna have to make it up at the end of the year or stress out. So it gives my fly by the seat of my pants side of my personality the ability to actually do that and take off a day whenever I want to. But it also gives my OCD control freak side of my personality the comfort in knowing that I'm not putting us behind when I choose to do that or when we need to do that. Sometimes everybody's sick. I have a son who is chronically ill, and so sometimes we wake up and we don't know till we wake up one morning that, hey, today school is just not going to happen today because we got a sick kid. So having that flexibility in my schedule alleviates that panic that, if you're OCD, you can relate to, that I would normally feel if I wake up this morning and I realized, oh my gosh, we can't school today. We're going to be behind and da, 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 da. And normally that would just send somebody like me into a panic. But because I build in all these flexible days in this flexible year-round school, then I'm able to just relax and rest and know that, hey, we're sick today and it's okay. And I don't have to like scramble to figure out how we're going to fit in what we missed today in our school year later. And so that just works for me, and that's how I do it. If we, for some reason, schedule a trip or something that I know is set in stone, I will obviously add that to my calendar whenever that gets planned. We don't really have set vacations that we do necessarily. Like some people go to the beach, for a week every single July, or every single June they go to Disney, or whatever it may be. We don't really have any traditional family trips that we take the same time every year or anything like that. We sort of plan vacations when we can have them. We own a small business, and so we don't get a lot of vacation time, to be honest. If you're a small business owner, when you go on vacation, you don't get vacation days. Your business is just shut down. So anyway, so we don't get a lot of vacation, but that's okay because we vacation at home. We have an awesome backyard, and so we get to spend time out there and we love it. So that is the first thing I do when I'm planning my year, okay, is my big picture, look at my year. Now then what I do, hopefully you can see on here, do you see the boxes that have the double lines around them? Okay, so what I do is once I get our holidays that I know we're going to take off down on my calendar, I go through and I count 9 weeks. So I split my year up into quarters based on the days I know we're taking off. Again, this comes from being a public school and private school teacher for so long. I like to think of the school year in quarters. It's just always what I did for 17 years as a traditional school teacher, and that's just still how my OCD brain works. So I do that on my calendar. And what that allows my brain to do is visually see, like, this is about when we should be a quarter of the way through our curriculum for the year. And then this is where we should be about halfway through our curriculum for the year. And so that enables me to see, number one, how we're kind of doing as we're going along. And then also it helps me to see that if we really didn't take any more days, we would be done, where'd it go, May 13th. And we'd have the whole month of June and the whole month of July. So that also gives me peace of mind that I know, we've got 2 months worth of buffer time that if we need it, we can use it to finish. So I'm not fretting about getting things done or worried that we're going to run out of time. Now, the other thing that those quarters help me do is the next, and I guess really the final step in my year planning for the year. So let me tell you about that. Next thing I do is I make myself a little chart, and I'm a pen and paper girl. I'll probably rewrite this somewhere neater because that's how I am, and I divide into 4 quarters, and then I look at all my curriculum that I'm using either for my big kids, for Ford, or for the family, and I figure out where a quarter would be in that curriculum. Now some of them are super easy because some of them send a schedule. You get a schedule with your curriculum that tells you exactly what to do every day, and it maps out a schedule, week 1, week 2, week 3, and it already splits it into quarters for you. So those are easy. Like I'm trying to think of an example, like logic. We're doing logic, which is a master books curriculum, and theirs is very mapped out for you. So I know that I need to be through day 45 by the time I'm ending first quarter. So then I know that around this date that I need to be around day 45 in that curriculum. Some of them are not as easy, like we're doing Knotgrass history this year with my big kids, and it intends for you to school 5 days a week, and we don't school 5 days a week. Well, we do school 5 days a week, but co-op day is one of those days, so we only school at home 4 days a week. And so what I did for that is I went through and I marked, here's 4 lessons week 1, 4 lessons week 2, 4 lessons week 3, so on and so forth. And then I could write down under our world history that we need to be about at lesson 36 in order to be a quarter of the way through our curriculum. Does that make sense? Anyway, this is really also just for my OCD brain. And so I just map it all out. And that gives me just kind of a way to gauge how we're doing as the year is progressing. And so, like, for example, like going back to logic, if we get to whatever that date was, October 1st, and we're like on day 20 of logic, then I know, I need to panic a little bit because we're like way behind. And what have we done? Have we skipped logic a million days in a row, or like what's going on? So I can sort of keep an eye on our progress and know that we're progressing at a pace which will enable us to finish before the following August, basically. Does that make sense? I feel like this is a lot of rambling, and I don't know if my crazy brain will make sense to anybody else. Anyway, that's how I plan for the year. And I also, there's some other things I plan, like I plan our read alouds for the year, and I plan some of our field trips for the year, but not all of them. Things like that, and I keep track of all of that as well. And then this is my homeschool planner, so all of that information gets punched and stuck in here. My lesson plans also go in here. If you're interested, I make those myself in PowerPoint. If you're interested in seeing how I weekly plan, those weekly plans all go in here as well, and I'm going to be doing a video coming up on that. I have done a video in the past about it. I'm going to do an updated video about my weekly planning that's going to be coming up pretty soon. So if you're interested in seeing those, there is a video coming about weekly planning. But anyway, this yearly planning just sort of gives me a big picture, and it gives me benchmarks basically, so that I know that we're progressing as we should be, and I don't have to panic like, are we going to finish in time or whatever. And so that works for my brain. That's how I do it. I'm sure you have great ways of planning your year that work for you. If you love planning videos, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.